All right, so good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. What we're doing today is talking about getting ready for 2022. So what I'm going to do is the workbook that we have created for you, we're definitely sharing with you as an email attachment PDF. However, if you prefer to get a paper copy, which is perfectly okay, please let us know and we'll be happy to mail out a copy for you. So just 1 second, and I'm going to share this with you. All right, are we good on the slides?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. All right, well, thank you so much again for joining us. I just wanted to give you a quick introduction on who I am for some of you that maybe are new at our workshops. My name is Olga St. Pierre, and I am our community's real estate agent. And one of the things that our team truly enjoys doing is contributing to our community in a way of making what we hear on the internet that pertains to the community into real estate, what we see on social media, and we translate it and make it relevant, affordable, and what makes sense to you. So this is what we're doing. So just a little bit about our team. We have been servicing clients for the last 13 years. Our main focus of work is in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. However, we do have an extensive network of other agents and clients that we're working with pretty much anywhere in the United States and Canada. So if you are doing some planning, maybe some preliminary planning, and you have attended our workshops in the past, and this may be something that you may want to do, please let us know, reach out to us so that way we can help you and figure out the best move, because as you know, making a move is very much stressful. Our team's mission is intending of making anyone's dream of owning a home come true with some budgeting and some planning, but we truly are passionate about it and we believe that we can make that happen. We also have extensive concierge service. Think of us as your virtual yellow pages. Anyone that you can think of that you may need help with, from a contractor to just having some muscle, maybe you're doing some reorganizing and decluttering, to some professionals such as an attorney, financial planner, or an attorney. We are happy to help you. So that's a little bit about us, and let's jump right in. Let's talk about getting ready for 2022. As you know, we are just a few weeks from the new year. We are right in the middle of a busy holiday season. And what I encourage you to do as you're heading into the holiday season, and maybe you have a few days off from work where you are spending times with your loved ones and your friends, I encourage you to take some time and just think about this year that we are getting ready to send out the door, and think about what you want to do in 2022. And as I mentioned to you last year, I kind of don't like the word resolutions because they sound a little bit negative to me and they sound very permanent. And as you know, there's a lot of things that can change, a lot of things that are not permanent in our lives. So I invite you to think about planning and thinking about next year in terms of possibilities, of could be's and maybes, because that is perfectly okay. So one of the first things that I encourage you to do is create a memories jar. This is actually going to make an unbelievably awesome gift for your friends and family and anyone that you can think of. And it's very easy to do. You just need a jar and a lid, some stickers or markers to decorate, and some index cards or plain paper that you can cut, and a pen. And the goal is to take the time each week and think back how the week went and write down on that little note something good that happened that week, a memory that you want to keep. Because as you know, if I was to ask you, hey, what happened on July 5th? You're probably not going to remember. You might say, well, it had something to do with 4th of July, but what were some of the good things that happened that weekend, right? Sometimes it's the little things that we fail to notice that truly make our day. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do with this idea, right, with this jar. So what happens is by the end of the year, you might have around 50 or so of those cards. And then on New Year's Eve, or maybe the week between Christmas and New Year's, next year, I encourage you to open up that jar, empty it, and then share all of these memories with each other. I promise you that you're going to have an amazing time kind of reminiscing about all the good things that have happened last year. And, one of the things that we sometimes tend to focus on is all the bad things that happen, right? Because we hear it on the social media, we hear it on TV all the time. And yet the goal is to think about all of the amazing, great things that happen too, right? Because they're, I think, a lot more fun to think about, okay? Of course, there's a digital version. If this is something that maybe you don't want to do physically, there's a great free app that you can find for both Android as well as the Apple phone. It's called Gratitude. And there's lots of things that you can do on there. There's lots of features. You can do some journal entries, just like you're doing them on the cards. There's some self-affirmations. You can actually sign up to receive some daily quotes to kind of pep you up and help you with your days as you go through maybe your work week, and help you if you're struggling, maybe you're not feeling well. Next, as you are aware, this last year has been also challenging for a lot of people as we are still working through the pandemic. And one of the things that we have learned is that change can happen overnight. And a lot of us may not have some money set aside, some savings set aside for when an emergency happen. So what I encourage you to do as you're planning out beginning of your year, to make one of your items, one of your possibilities is to have a rainy day fund. And really, ideally, the best thing to do is to have 6 months worth of monthly expenses for your rainy day fund. And ultimately, if you think about it, you can use it for just about anything. If your car suddenly breaks down, all of a sudden you go to the mechanic and you realize that you need 4 brand new tires. Well, that's a lot of money. You can actually use your rainy day fund for those repairs. If you have, your furnace breaks down, or you have another kind of emergency, or God forbid, a health emergency, you have these savings set aside so that way you can sleep better at night knowing that you have that backup. One of the easy ways to do this, if we're trying to make fun of saving money, is this money bingo. We are happy to send it to all of you if you want. You can put it on your fridge, and it's trying to make a game out of saving money and making it fun. So the goal is that every week you're going to cross off one number on this sheet. And then by the end of the time, when all of your squares are crossed off on this bingo card, you are going to have $10,000 in the bank. Wouldn't that be amazing? And also, this is one of the great ways for you to be able to save money if you're thinking about buying a home, right? Because you're going to need money for your down payment and your closing costs. In addition, another tip that I have to share with you is, in addition to the gratitude jar, what you can also do is add $10 a week in addition to your gratitude note that you just wrote. And by the time November rolls around, you're going to have around $400 in your jar. And you can use that cash to buy presents, or maybe continue to save for something special, or put that money towards your rainy day fund. So, as I already mentioned to you, resolutions, word to me is too heavy. So here, what I want to share with you are some fun ideas on how you can plan your 2022. So last year, we recommend that you made a list of 21 ideas for year 2021. So we are just using the same system, right? The same scenario, and saying, hey, how about we're going to have 22 ideas now in the year of 22? And there's a couple of ways you can do that. Let's make it fun, right? We can make it themes where let's say 22, you divide that into maybe 3 or 4 categories. And you have themes for each category, something that pertains to your family, something pertains to the career, to have fun, health, adventures, or maybe something that you want to do for yourself. So I'm just giving you some encouragement as to how you can think about it so that way it don't seem to be overwhelming. Now, a list of things that you may want and intend to do. It's okay to have on this list the things of maybes, potentials, could be's, ideas, or for the future. The goal is just to write them down and to kind of have them hanging out there for you to periodically look at and think about, okay? So another option would be 11 easy items, 11 stretch items. And you can make it simple, right? Actions, steps blurbs or phrases, right? So like trying and, possible and thinking is always better than doing, because this way you don't get disappointed if you don't actually do it. Okay. Next, I invite you to review your 2021 and make your ta-da list. Okay. So ta-da is not to do. Ta-da is patting yourself on the back or patting your family and your loved ones on the back and saying, hey, look how much cool stuff we have accomplished and done this year. Okay. You can take a look at your calendar, kind of think back, sit down, and then make a list. And you'll be surprised when you make your list, and you can make it as big items, including some of the small things, even on that list. And I encourage you to do that because, again, the goal is to focus on the fun things and the things that you've gotten accomplished versus some of the negative things that we tend to focus on when we're thinking about things. Okay. Creating new habits and decisions and goals. As you know, what happens in the beginning of the year, everybody hits the gym and they say, oh yes, I'm going to work out and I'm going to do it every week and I'm going to push. And then what happens is that you fail to follow through with your plan because you plan too much. You say, I'm definitely doing it. And then you know what? For a lot of us, life gets in the way. And then at the end of January, the number of attendees kind of dwindles down at the gym. And then come February, March, we're back to the same number of people that has been there since the year before. So what I encourage you to do is that you have to understand that it takes time to develop a new habit, a new goal, because you don't automatically think about it, right? Like the habits that we usually have are, you get up in the morning and you have a routine. A routine is you grab your shower and then you start your coffee machine, you have your breakfast, and then maybe you walk the dog, and you do this every day. And because you've done it so many times in a row, you create a habit and you do it subconsciously. So to create a new habit, you have to work on it and practice it. One of the easiest way that I have found it based on my reading, and actually I tried it on myself, right? So I did the experiment on myself and it truly worked, is that you attach your new habit that you want to develop to the one that you already do on a regular basis. So let me give you an example. I wanted to do yoga every day as part of my exercising and in the morning. And I started trying to figure out how I can make it happen so that way I actually do it every day and every morning. So I thought about what is it that I do every morning as part of my routine. And every morning I have a glass tea kettle that I turn on, I fill it with water and I turn it on. And what I realized is that it's 7 minutes for my full tea kettle, because I make it full because I drink water throughout the day. It takes 7 minutes for that tea kettle to boil. So I decided that as soon as I go downstairs and I hit that button for my tea kettle to start heating up the water, that was my cue for me to go back upstairs and do my yoga. And I had 7 minutes. Whatever movements that I wanted to do, I had 7 minutes. Okay. And that was my thing. And then in the beginning, I had to remind myself, I actually had a sticky note that was in my line of vision next to my tea kettle that says tea kettle and then yoga, right? That was my little reminder. And that is how I got in the habit. After a while, I actually didn't even need my sticky because I already knew in my mind that the next step after turning on my tea kettle was going back upstairs and doing yoga. And, after a while, it took me even a little bit longer than 7 minutes because you start thinking about it, you do maybe a little bit of meditation, then you try different moves. And that's how I got into the habit. So some other suggestions for you is attach it to another habit, maybe doing something after brushing your teeth or browsing social media. Think about what you do on a regular basis, and based on a new habit that you want to develop, that is one of the best ways that I have found that I wanted to share with you. Make your life easier. So I hope that all of you will agree with me that we all want our life to be a little bit less complicated, right? So I always think about, and I always want to share with you, what are some of the things that you can do to ease yourself and not maybe try to remember everything in your head. Okay, so these are some of the suggestions that we jotted down for you. So number one, hang a notepad in your fridge. And you can use it for making a grocery list so that way you don't forget. I also told my kids And I told my husband that if you think that we're starting to run low on something, or maybe we actually ran out of something, you need to write it down on that piece of paper. Because if you're going to yell up to me and tell me, hey, mom, we ran out of ketchup, I'm not going to remember unless it's written down on that list. And I also told him, if it's not written down on the list, it's not going to get purchased because I don't know that we are short on this item in the refrigerator. And my daughters use it for grocery lists. They use it as a reminder for me for something. Sometimes they write little notes to me, even just like hi or bye. So, and you can jot down some thoughts and maybe something else. So use a notepad in the refrigerator. I have a notepad in my car. I have quite a few notepads actually on my desk here, because I decided that I did not want my brain to be overwhelmed and overburdened with the stuff that I needed to remember, because, eventually it's just going to kind of explode and you can have the steam coming out of your ears. So I use notepads, and you can adapt it as any way as you think. If you like to use your phone for digital notes, if you want to use notebooks or you want to use pads, think about what is going to work for you. Planning for unexpected. This is one of my favorite categories. However, think about how many birthdays that you have, special occasions that you have in the year for your friends, for your loved ones in your family. You can always buy cards for birthdays, for graduations, thank yous, and congratulations in bulk. I actually have them in a small box. Some people put them in totes, and you can also do the same thing with gift bags and tissue paper and bows and tape and so forth. I actually have everything sitting in a zip up bag, and I put everything there. This way, if, for example, I could give you an example. A client of mine, dog passed away yesterday, and I saw that he posted this on social media, and their group of dogs are their fur babies, and they're very, very important to them. So I grabbed my stash where I have some condolence cards, and I quickly was able to jot down a quick note to them, letting them know how sorry I am to hear of the death in their family. And I was able to put the stamp right on because I have everything handy right here. And then I put it in the mail today. And it made me feel good because I was prepared. I had the cards that I needed, and I was able to send something to my clients because I knew that this would be important to them. So the recommendation for you is, if you want to get it all organized, you can put everything in one tote and kind of just tuck it away in the closet, or maybe in your laundry or somewhere out of the way. And then when you need it, you know exactly where you'd be able to find it. Let's talk a little bit about decluttering, freshening up. I'm not sure about you, but one of the things that I remember ever since I was little, my mom always told us that we are going to do some deeper cleaning in the days prior to New Year's, prior to the holidays, because she said you don't want to bring the dirt and the grime from the year before to the new year. Okay? The goal is to start the year fresh. So she always had us change laundry and do some vacuuming and doing some cleaning, because she said, let's just leave all the dirt behind and let's start the year fresh. So I encourage you to think of it the same way, and saying is to what can you do and what do you want to do leading up to, so that way when the 2022 is here, you are ready to go and your house is fresh and it's just where you want it to be. So the quick declutter tips, again, I have practiced them on myself and I found them to work. So I want to share them with you. Is I encourage you to use the waiting time from, for example, like I mentioned to you that my tea kettle takes 7 minutes to brew. So I actually made it a game. When I know I have 7 minutes, I'm like, okay, how much stuff can I get done in 7 minutes? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to unload the dishwasher. I'm going to load the dishwasher. Then I'm going to maybe, clean the countertop a little bit. And I kind of start working in my kitchen if that is where I want to do it in, starting from one end, and I'm working myself around. Right. So I make it a little bit of a game. The same thing for pasta cooking. If you think about it, 10 to 12 minutes, depending on what you're making, you have 10 to 12 minutes to do something. So think about what you need to get done. Maybe you need to do a load of laundry. Maybe you need to do a little bit of sweeping. Maybe you need to change a litter box, right? So think about what you can fit in and make it fun and say, hey, can I actually make it happen and do it before my timer goes up because my pasta is ready, okay? Same thing is when the family member is in the shower, maybe you're waiting for your turn. Think about how much time that is. I'll give you an example. When my daughters are in the shower, I know I have like 30 to 45 minutes. So that is like a major cleaning. If you think about it, I can probably get some vacuuming done and some other organizing. So think about that. Commercial breaks on TV, we all hate them, but let's say those breaks are 2 to 3 minutes. Think about what can you do in those 3 minutes real quick? Can you pick up some stuff? Maybe you can take out some trash, roll out your trash and recycle if you pick up this the next day. That I made it a game, and it's just fun when you're trying to beat the clock and the timer. Clean out your medicine cabinet. The month of December is what I recommend from my Declutter class is the time you take to go through your cabinets. Some of the major things are that I kind of focus on, and I ask you to do the same, is your medicine and your makeup. So if you go through and check and see some of the medicines that maybe are old and you can throw them away, or you can take them to donate them to Walgreens, CVS, or your police department and kind of see where you are. Maybe you need to get a new refill because your medicine is now expired. So you can make yourself a list and you can use your trusty notepad that is hanging in the refrigerator to set yourself a reminder that you need to get a refill on your prescription. Maybe you need to talk to your doctor. The same thing with makeup. My rule of thumb is 6 months. All the makeup that I have this month, I already bought some fresh makeup for myself. So the old one is going to get trashed the week before, right around Christmas time. Give yourself the permission to give yourself a refresher to your wardrobe, maybe get some fresh colors, because again, all the makeup is not refrigerated. So it's all chemicals, and you don't want them to get older than 6 months, because then you're putting them on your skin and those chemicals get absorbed into your body. Don't forget to clean your most often used helpers. This is huge because these are the things that we touch all the time, yet we forget to clean them and maybe just, wipe them with a antibacterial wipe. Some of these things are your earbuds, your remotes, your phone, right? We are with this thing all the time. Car shifter and the steering wheel. I actually do this when I get in my car. And I actually have a hand sanitizer pump in my car. I clean my hands and I squirt a little bit extra. And then I go like this, and then I just wipe my steering wheel and I wipe my shifter. So I actually do that quite often. Your keys, your purse, your laptop, tablet, and other tech. So make your list, and you can actually make it fun with your kids and your loved ones. You can try and even make a game out of it. And then here's some other additional tips for decluttering in your home that we have included as little pictures for you as well. Let's talk a little bit about traveling. I know that we are still not traveling as much as we want to. Travel is one of the things that I truly love, whether I travel with my family or myself, or for some of the conferences that I have for my work. These are a couple of things that I have learned that made my life easier and less stressful, right? I hope that you can raise your hand and say, yes, I want less stressful life and less stressful travel. Packing cubes, it's a way for you to pack your clothes smartly. So that way you're packing certain things in one little area. And that way you're only opening one area instead of trying to go through and look for things in your suitcases. A mobile battery charger is very important, and it gives me a peace of mind when I'm traveling, just in case if my battery really gets drained, I don't have to worry about trying to find a plug. I use my mobile battery charger, and you can charge that phone at least a few times. So I actually have a couple of them when we travel. One is for me, my husband, and then another one is for my daughters. As much as we try when we travel, we try to do it with carry-on. And I encourage you to watch some of the videos of how to travel smartly. And that's what I did when I decided that I'm just going to do carry-on, so that way I don't have to wait for the bags to come out. I don't have to worry about them being, broken or ripped or lost, right? Or left behind somewhere. There's some great videos and tips on how you can pack and figure out how you can wear some things more than once and use them as, strategic ways of, what you're wearing. So TSA pre-check. Actually, I just got notification that I have to renew mine. TSA pre-check is something that you do. They do, I believe, a background check and fingerprints, and you get it for 5 years. It is $75. And when you are at the airport and you're going through security, you don't have to remove your shoes. You don't have to take off your clothes. And then you only have to take out your laptop. But other than that, you have your own shorter line to go through, and it's a lot more efficient. I love it. We also like to use Airbnbs when we travel. So think of it this way: instead of having a one room in a hotel, you may be able to rent out a whole apartment, which means that you have a kitchen potentially, and you might also have laundry. So if you're traveling with a carry-on and you're traveling for, a longer period of time, you can actually do your laundry, wash up everything, and then you're ready to go again. Uber and Lyft are other ways to travel if you don't maybe want to use taxis, or if there's no taxis around. And for the local members of our community, I invite you to consider using Mercer County, New Jersey Airport that has Frontier that flies out of there. Like, for example, when we go to Florida, that is the only airport we fly out because it's super close. It is small. The security staff is very friendly, and it's super quick in and out. So it just, again, makes traveling so much more efficient and less stressful. My next suggestion to you is actually what my daughter gave me. When we started traveling a while back, she said, "Mom, I'm going to create a travel journal," because she wanted to keep memories from all the trips that we've done. So every trip she would collect receipts and postcards where we went, and maybe like stickers and something else that she had picked up. And then she would create a book of where we went and what we did. And then she would actually glue those little memory sticks and information that she collected in those travel books. And you know what? It's so much fun to go through that travel log of hers and look back and see what we did and where we've been. You can actually purchase these kinds of travel books if you want, or you can create your own. It can be just a regular notebook, and or even a coloring, like a painting book where it's just plain white paper, and you can make it as beautiful or as simple as you want. Ask us to mail this one for you if you want. We have this great vacation checklist, and we're happy to either mail you this checklist, or if you want, we can email it to you. We send this out around the month of April and May. It's a great way for you to get ready for your vacation. Some of the things that you may not even think about, that you want to make sure that your home is secure, maybe your pet is taken care of, that you don't forget about your plants, right? Because we often do, but we do have that. Again, it is designed to make your life easier, where you don't have to overthink things. You can just use the checklist a couple of weeks before you go on your vacation, check stuff off and say, you know what? I got everything covered and I'm going to truly enjoy my vacation. All right. So it's not like at Home Alone where she forgets that she forgot, she realizes that she forgot her youngest child. And then that just creates mayhem. And that's what the whole movie is about. All right, let's talk about some vacation hacks. We truly enjoyed finding them and putting them together for you. The goal is, hopefully, is to vacation more to some interesting destinations close and far away. A shampoo and lotion bottle can make a perfect disguise for a carry-on, right? So you can actually put like credit cards in there, keys or cash, and you can leave them without being afraid that someone is going to steal it for you. Now, I don't know if you know this, but when you open up a new browser, whether it's Chrome or another browser that you use, if you right click, one of the options would be to say open in incognito. And it's the same browser and the same page that you open up regularly. However, what it doesn't know is that it's you, and it doesn't have your bookmark saved. It doesn't know that it's you. So you are like going in there and you're like, completely in the shade, so to speak. And the reason why it's important is that the airlines don't have the cookies. I don't know, you probably have heard of the term cookie. And this is how the websites and the companies know that that is you. And what that means is if they know and they have your cookies, they have a lot of information on kind of your habits and how you like to travel and what you want to do. So the incognito window allows you to truly shop and see what kind of rates you can get without them thinking that they know you really well. Next, scan your most important documents and then email them to yourself or store them in, for example, like Google Drive or Dropbox. This way, God forbid, if you lose your airline tickets, if you lose your driver's license, God forbid, if you lose your passport, you still have a copy of it and you can use it at least as a picture to maybe get to the embassy to get a new one or use it as an ID, right? This way, at least you'll have something. So this way you're not completely panicking and you have no identification on you. And for packing, in addition to packing cubes, you should roll your clothes. I find it extremely helpful because actually people think, oh, well, it's going to actually wrinkle more. That's actually not true. So when you roll it, it's actually less wrinkles. And I found that you can make it tighter and you can pack things more efficiently. So I encourage you to try it next time when you're packing and you are heading out on your vacation. Let's talk about fun. I know that we are all familiar with Zoom because we have been on Zoom now, just about almost 2 years. So what I encourage you to do is use Zoom for fun, right? So we use it for work. Maybe we use it for some of these kind of workshops, which I hope that you're finding fun as well. But I encourage you to head over to Eventbrite and see if you can find some maybe interesting lectures and classes and workshops. There's so much of free classes and free information that is available that you can sign up for. There's painting, there's coffee art. Like if you want to learn how to make that pretty heart that they make on top of the coffee with the milk foam, there's classes for that you can just have fun with one night, sign up for and figure out how it's done. There's cooking classes, there's language classes, there's so much that's available for you. If you want to check out some virtual tours of world-class museums, here's a link for you that I found very interesting. I actually have seen virtual tours of different cities around the world, of different places, and they're just interesting things. Like you can go virtually visit a zoo. And it's just a great way to say, you know what, if I can't physically get there, let me just have some fun and visit virtually. But it's going to be from the comfort of my home, from the comfort of my couch. Next, I encourage you, I took this actually out of my decluttering class where we talk about the things that we keep, the things that are prized, the things that maybe got passed down to us from our grandparents, right? Or maybe even further down the line. And what I encourage you to do is instead of keeping these things boxed or put away in the cupboard or something like that, I encourage you to think about those things as something that is treasured but used, whether they're dishes or maybe spoons or towels or table covers, sheets, clothing. Think about all these things as instead of it sitting in the cupboard collecting dust, I'm going to use these items and they're going to bring me joy because I'm thinking about the loved one that has given them to me. In my example, it's actually spoons that my grandmother gave me. And they were very pretty and they were in the box. And you know what I did when she gave them to me? I'm like, oh, they're so pretty. Yes, I love it. I was flattered when she gave them to me. So what I do, I put in the cupboard. And then sometime after, as I was actually designing this workshop a few years ago, I said, you know what? These spoons that my grandma gave me, I actually went out and I got them. And then I threw away the box that they were in. And I put them out and now I use them every day for my tea or my coffee. And I told my daughters, I said, please look, these are the special spoons that my grandmother gave me. So when you guys are using them to have ice cream or to drink your tea, I want you to think about her because it's going to bring you joy. And that's exactly what we do. Very often during the week, I think about my grandma that is no longer with me. And these spoons remind me of her. So to me, that's special for that particular reason. Let's make it memorable. So I have a homework for you, and I wanted to show you this, that do these then and now photos, like make this fun. So My team member, Jess, and I did this recently. So she found a picture of her and her brother, right? 7 years apart, and they're standing on the same rock. And what I want to share with you for the first time here is I found a picture of me, my dad. And for Thanksgiving, when I saw him, I said, Dad, we need to recreate a picture. So I showed him the picture and he's like, wait, I actually have a top. It's not short sleeve, but it still looks good. So he got the top and my mom took a picture. I said, I need you to try and make it as, the same as possible. And I'm sure you probably have seen these on Facebook where, kids are sitting in the funny way and then they recreate the scene now, 20 or 30 years later. So I kind of encourage you to do the same thing because it helps, our loved ones. My parents really enjoyed doing it. I had fun with it. And I told my dad that there was a couple more pictures. I told my sister there were some pictures. So when I see them at the end of the month, I think we're going to do a couple of these and make these then and now photos that I can then share with others as well. Birthday freebies. Don't forget, my birthday month is December. So I'm planning on taking advantage of these. When I went to Panera, they told me that I have a free muffin. So I enjoyed a free muffin this week. So I encourage you to see if there are some other freebies that maybe you would like to do. So I have some suggestions here for you. Kohl's does do Kohl's Cash. You can get a full stack of pancakes at IHOP. Krispy Kreme has some donuts during your birthday month. And of course, don't forget your fur babies. On their birthdays, you can get some treats as well for them at Petco, PetSmart, and Pet Supplies as well. All right, let's talk about cleaning. How are we going to make our life easier? I think if you do it efficiently with some truly good helpers, if you will agree with me, the cleaning would go much smoother. So I'm sharing with you some of my favorites, things that I have used and others have recommended to me. I have the canister. It's one of my favorite vacuums. It's super easy to clean, super easy to disassemble. And this is an animal. It's just cleaning like there's no tomorrow. It's such a hard worker. So I have my spin mop. Barkeeper's Friend can be used on just about anything. And it's super, super cool cleaner. Weiman stainless steel cleaners have been considered the best in the industry for stainless steel cleaning. So check them out. I have converted to Dawn dishwashing liquid for sure. I actually use it a lot, not just for dishes, but also for spot treating for my laundry. I was able to get some of the stains out from the clothes that I couldn't do it with some of my other regular stain removers. So I'm a huge believer. And I like the foam, like there's Dawn foam. I actually like that for laundry better than regular blue one. And Brillo, yes, absolutely. You have oven cleaner as well as Brillo can make your oven super, super shiny and sparkle again. All right, let's talk about cars and how you're going to make your life easier and safer as well. I'm a big believer of making sure that you're not just safe and prepared in your house, but when you're traveling. So let's talk about humans in the car. These are some of the things that I have put in my car. So I invite you to think about it as well on what's important going to be for you. Maybe you have dogs, maybe you have other animals. So think about how this is going to apply for you in your case. So here are some suggestions for you. I always have a case of water because I know that if I don't drink, I get a headache. So whether it's winter or summer, I always have a case of water in my car, plus some neutral snacks, some goldfish, some granola bars that are great for me to snack on or for my daughters in between of our, dance classes and running around. Clorox wipes, Windex, trash bags, hand sanitizer, Ziploc bags, shopping bags. Those are the things that I have found that are helpful for us. Now, don't forget about your car, right? Our car is, for me, it's my second home because I do drive a lot because of my profession. I want to make sure that I have the safety items in there for my car. So some of the things that I suggest that you have are jumper cables, air pressure gauge. Just so you know, a lot of Wawas and some other gas stations do allow you to check it for free and fill it with air. First aid kit, flashlight, WD-40 in case if you need to open things up and something maybe is stuck because it's rusted. Basic toolkit, car registration, insurance card, don't forget those, and your car manual just in case something happens. Personal and family. I wanted to share with you some of my favorites to make your life a little bit easier, I guess. And this is, my mantra to you as you plan out your new year. Think about what are some of these tips and tricks can help you make your life easier for you as a, a provider, as a breadwinner, as a mom, as a grandma, and so forth. Take advantage of the curbside pickup. If you don't want to go into the store, maybe you don't feel good, but you still have to get this done and you can't do it from the comfort of your home, go ahead and order and they will come in and just put stuff in the back of your car. I have used it a few times and I truly liked it. Instacart for grocery delivery. I love it because they are now have expanded into big box stores, ShopRite, Target. An example I can give you is I have clients that recently relocated from New Jersey to Florida. I have a lot of clients that are now living in Florida, and I wanted to do something nice for them. So what I did is I used Instacart to deliver them some food and flowers yesterday from Publix, which is their grocery store. So I just put in the cart what I wanted them to deliver. I told them when I wanted, and I told them that it was coming yesterday between 3 and 5. And then they sent me a picture of some flowers and some fruit tray that I sent to them. And it was super easy to do. And they were super thrilled. And I enjoyed doing that to them as a thank you as well. Keep receipts of your warranties in your receipts. This is extremely important. Whenever you buy something and you think that you might need it, especially for big ticket items, TVs, monitors, computers, and even for some such simple things as maybe your electric toothbrush or your hair dryer, I always scan receipts right on my laptop. Or if you want, you can take a picture and then create an album on your phone for your receipts. Because if you cannot provide to the manufacturer a proof of purchase, even if it's a brand new item, your warranty is null and void. I have learned it the hard way with a client of mine. She had brand new appliances. She needed a dishwasher repaired, brand new. And they said, we can't honor our warranty because you have no way of proving to us when you bought it. So just keep that in mind. Crazy Coupon Lady app is great for scooping up and rounding up deals. Sometimes I don't have time, but I want to see maybe there's some good deals around and I can just scroll through it. You can do it as an email. You can find them on Facebook or Instagram, or you can add their app and just periodically go through that. Pull your credit report 3 times a year. I am huge on making sure that your financial health is just as good as your regular health. And checking to make sure that what you see on your credit report for you is extremely vital, because our credit report is our door to good credit, to purchasing a house, car, making sure that you get a good rate on your cell phone. It's used for everything. So I encourage you to check it and be your own advocate to make sure that there's nothing on your credit report that shouldn't be on there. Because I can tell you that if you do find some things that shouldn't be on there, it can take months to correct. Okay, so if you subscribe to our e-newsletter, which a lot of you are, we will send you a reminder when you need to do it and provide you with the link like it is here. My favorite read of 2021 has been the book by Gretchen Rubin. It's called Happiness Project. I am a huge bookie, as I call myself. I read all the time for pleasure and as well as for work. And I always try to make recommendations. So if you have some recommendations for me, I am building my 2022 reading list as well. Maybe 22 books for 2022. Please send them my way. I am excited to start on some new authors and maybe some new topics. So that is what I have for you. I am now invite you to share with me maybe some tips and tricks. So just want to share with you that our upcoming workshops are always being updated on our Live with Olga site website. You can easily click on it and see what else do we have coming up for the rest of the month. And we already have some plans, of course, for the first quarter of next year. And all of our workshops are recorded, so you can go back and listen and view them all with the links to the information that we talk about. And all of that is on my YouTube channel, absolutely free to you, because that is what we want to do, is be of assistance and help to you. And if you want to connect with me on social media for just to stay in touch and say hello, I am mostly right now residing on Facebook at olga.s.stpierre. So that's what I have to share with you today. I know it's a lot of information. I hope that you found this helpful. And you are welcome to share your own tips and tricks, maybe something that you are planning on implementing or something that you learned last year that you would like everyone to know. I'm always looking for some more ideas. All right, let's see what we have. Ali says, my granny in Scotland was the exact same way about cleaning and not bringing the dirt into the fresh new year. So we washed the windows on New Year's Day. I still do this at my home on January 1st. That is so cool. I love to hear people's traditions on what you do around the holidays and how you get ready to celebrate the new year. Mike says, IKEA has some great basic toolkits. Absolutely, Mike, that is a great idea. IKEA is also dangerous. When you go there, you always walk out with the stuff that you had no plans on buying. So just a caveat to that. Okay. And Jessica Connor says that the Bucks County Library system also has a website, has some great suggestions. Absolutely. Library.
Burlington County.
Oh, sorry, Burlington. Yes, library is one of my favorite places as well. All right. Gigi said, great tips. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Anyone else has any other interesting things for tips and tricks that they are doing, maybe that they're implementing now that you guys would like to share? That is a cool idea. Mike says that he likes to give IKEA toolkits as high school graduation gifts. Absolutely. I actually gave out some toolkits to some of my first-time home buyers because a lot of people don't have them and they don't know how to use them a lot of the times. And especially as high school, that's a great idea for sure. Jessica Connor says that the recommendation for the Burlington County system was for book suggestions. Yes. Whenever I go to the library, I always pick up a flyer that has this week's top book suggestions, the New York Times bestsellers, because that also gives me some ideas on what books I may want to borrow and read. All right, anybody else has anything else that you want to add? Thank you, Ali. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Well, we're going to wrap up. Just remember, we are revamping a lot of our workshops to provide you with some more updated and fresh information, which has to do with real estate and some renovations and some other workshops on different topics. So please come and visit us again. Again, we do this all for free, no charge, and we enjoy spending some time with you and sharing ideas. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a good night. All right. Happy holidays, everybody.